And welcome, folks, to the Not Mike and Mike Show. My name is Brian Nelson. I am not Mike. And joining with me, as always, is my co-host, Mike McLeod. He is Mike. And today we have a show jam-packed with a lot of information. Week 13 of our Not Reality League is coming up, and we're going to discuss that. After that, we're going to debut our newest segment, Money Mike, the Profit, where Mike McLeod will get to pick some games for you, try to make a little cash. And then we're going to wrap things up with what we're thankful for in the sports world as we've just come off the Thanksgiving break. But first, let's talk about our Not Reality League. 2 weeks off, but Mike, we had a heck of a 2 weeks. Myself, I went 8-2 with overall record of 38-22. Went 4-1 in both weeks, and Mike, you went an impressive 9-1.
5-0 last week, so that makes us tied. I'm still kind of irked that you had a better record than me at any point this season, but I think we're either getting better at this or the teams are just getting more lopsided.
Yeah, I think we just kind of figured out who the bad teams were, and we're just kind of picking on them over and over. So let's do our ad drops for this week. Because you went 5-0 last week, I went 4-1. Kind of decided that I'll make the first move.
All right, I got first pick. Not Mike goes, not first and all that, but that's fine. Go ahead.
So I had dropped Denver last week because I had 6 teams. Denver came back off of bye, and they had a tough matchup with Kansas City. I'm picking them back up, though, as they face an easy Jacksonville team, and I'm going to drop them for the Tennessee Titans, who are actually on bye. So I'm not actually dropping a team, just shifting Tennessee over to the bye slot and picking up Denver. My other move for the week, I am dropping the New York Giants. They have a tough matchup against Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm going to pick up the Philadelphia Eagles, who are facing a very prone Cincinnati Bengals team. Mike, your moves?
You'd think that when I go 5-0, the first 5-0 week of our Not Reality League since the inception of it, you'd think I wouldn't make any moves, just stand pat. But 2 games actually really scare me, and that's the Detroit-New Orleans game and the Kansas City-Atlanta game. Because I think Kansas City, they come in as a 4.5-point underdog. It's the only games that I have this week that they're underdogs for. So I'm going to drop Detroit to actually pick up New Orleans. I think that game is going to be a close one, but I got to take the home team on that one. And I'm actually going to drop Kansas City. Brace yourself. I'm dropping Kansas City for San Francisco. I'm dropping them for the Niners.
And that's the only reason, because Chicago is obviously decimated with injuries. Jay Cutler out. Matt Barkley started. Got some touchdowns in that game, but Matt Barkley doesn't scare anybody.
And who wants to lose this game more? Chicago or the Niners? Obviously, the Niners probably want to lose that game because they can keep that number 2 pick. But Colin Kaepernick, number 7, he's playing for a new contract somewhere else. He has balled out the last 4 weeks, and I think that even if single-handedly he has to win that game, he can beat Matt Barkley in Soldier Field. And
so let's kind of transition over to our most confident, least confident matchup. And how do you feel about San Francisco's matchup in lining up with all 5 of your games?
They're still my least confident matchup because they are 1-10. So you can never take anything for granted.
Very hard to be confident in that 1-10 on a 10-game losing streak.
They're still technically a 2.5-point dog, I think. I could be wrong about that. I might have seen it from somewhere else. But we'll just start at the top. Pittsburgh over the Giants. That is my most confident matchup of the week. I think Pittsburgh is in a position now where they have to win games in order to still make the playoffs. The Giants are a beatable team, even though they have some people. Odell Beckham Jr. has looked past this game. He sent out a tweet talking about the Cowboys, saying wait till the 11th. So, if that's his mindset going into this game, it's going to be a rude awakening when Pittsburgh comes in and kind of throttles them, I think. So then second place, I got Raiders over the Bills. It's in Oakland, the 4th technically straight home game for the Oakland Raiders, and they're just gelling at a good time right now. I think the Raiders' defense is getting better. Who would have thought that when I drafted them, and you made fun of me, that they'd be 9-2?
Yeah.
So the Bills, they love to play spoiler. Rex Ryan spoils his wife. But, the Raiders, I think, are just too good right now. Should be fine. Dallas over Minnesota, that is the Thursday night game. Required to keep them. I wasn't going to drop them anyway. But Dallas over Minnesota, I think that's fine. Minnesota, they have a good defense, but it's just after going 5-0, they've lost 5 out of the next 6, fighting for their lives. New Orleans over Detroit. fourth place just because it is going to be a thriller, and Detroit just seems to be the cardiac kids, even more so than the Raiders, taking the lead in the last 2 minutes of every game they've been in. So, I just expect Drew Brees, who's putting up MVP-like numbers, to pull that one out at home. New Orleans probably a team going to drop next week. We'll see how the matchups work out.
Well, Mike, you're coming off a 5-0 week, so it's pretty hard not to be at least confident in all of your picks. For me, Denver over Jacksonville is my easily the most confident pick. The only thing that does scare me is that Trevor Siemian was held out of practice, but
He's in a walking boot, man.
They can throw Paxton Lynch out there and still beat the Jaguars. They
Really?
could trade for Mark Sanchez and have him start against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They aren't doing anything against that defense. Blake Bortles is going to have 3 interceptions, be 14 for 38 for 79 yards.
All right. What's the higher number going to be? Completions or sacks?
Ooh.
Probably completions,
Probably
just
still completions.
because he's going to throw for 50 times.
Yeah, he's going to complete 5 completions in garbage time when they take all of the starters out.
That's the way it's been working for my fantasy team all year.
So Blake Bortles, garbage time. So my other games are Seattle over Carolina. Carolina, not the same Carolina Panthers as they were last year. Even though Seattle is coming off of a tough loss against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, very surprising. I think they'll bounce back to beat Cam Newton and those Panthers. New England wouldn't be higher on my list if it wasn't for the injury to Rob Gronkowski, back surgery. Yeah. Terrible blow for the Patriots. Terrible blow for your fantasy team, Mike.
We'll get into that after the segment. It's fine. I'm fine, folks.
And they play the LA Rams, who don't score touchdowns and somehow win.
So that's a scary matchup. If you shut them out, they have a better chance of winning.
Yeah, that's why they're kind of like right in the middle for me. Also, Philly over Cincinnati. Philly's been kind of up and down. Carson Wentz, after that hot start to the season, has kind of come back down to earth.
Yeah.
He is what he is. He's kind of Alex Smith from North Dakota. And the Cincinnati Bengals are struggling without A.J. Green. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a tough task for the Bengals to do anything for the rest of the season. And then still, my least confident matchup is the Miami Dolphins over the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens, you just kind of don't know what they are. They're kind of that 500 team that could win, could lose. And same with Miami. Like, they have a 6-game winning streak. That's impressive in the league whenever you can get it.
But they almost lost to the Niners last week.
Can you name any good team that they actually beat? Not really. They just kind of beat up on the bad teams, and Baltimore might be good enough to upset them, if you even want to call it an upset. So that one's just kind of a pick 'em game.
It is in Baltimore, too. So.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough for the Dolphins, I think, to really get that 7th win. But I think they can get it. That's why I kept them this week for Week 13. So we will see how that one shakes out. And when we come back, we are going to debut our newest segment, Money Mike, the Prophet. So don't go anywhere.
Real easy to have.
If you have an interest in a career in sports broadcasting,
whether it's behind the scenes or on camera,
then this is the class for you.
Class is held every Wednesday from 1:30 to 4:30 in room 121 alongside the library building.
For more information, contact Greg Poff. That's me at solano.edu.
We hope to see you here next semester. And remember,
it's more than just sports. It's an education.
And welcome back, folks, to the Not Mike and Mike Show. Mike, we are about to debut our newest segment, Money Mike, the Prophet. Now, Mike, this idea came from the Kansas City-Denver game we were talking, and you correctly predicted that Brandon McManus would hook that 62-yard field goal wide to the left. So we thought, hey, why not use that premonition ability to make our viewers a little bit of money? So I got in front of me some games.
Let's just disclaimer. If you're in an area that allows gambling legally, and you happen to listen to the show on YouTube, and you happen to make this bet, then that's fine. But don't do it illegally.
Yes. Always bet responsibly and legally.
Or on FanDuel.
Or DraftKings. All right. NFL, college, prop bets. We're going to cover it all. We'll start with the NFL and talk about some games we haven't talked about yet in Week 13. So we're going to talk Atlanta, Kansas City. The over-under is 49 points. Now, Kansas City has a stellar defense, but Atlanta has a killer offense. Combined, do you think 49 is a good number?
I'm actually going to take the under on 49, and I just think that Kansas City won't hold up their end of the bargain. I've never been a real big fan of Alex Smith's ability to score points, and really, unless Atlanta scores 30, which you just said against Kansas City's defense is not going to happen, you're looking at 24-24 would make it 48 points. That's still under. I don't see this game being in the high 20s. I'll take the under 49.
All right, next game,
Thank you.
Green Bay, Houston. Battle of two teams that are kind of in the middle of the pack in the NFL. Green Bay hasn't lived up to expectations. Houston, they're kind of limited on offense, but Green Bay is getting 6.5 points. Who do you favor in that?
Yeah, 6.5 points is a lot, man. You have Aaron Rodgers, who has a hamstring injury, questionable for the game. Obviously, he's going to play, but he won't be at 100%. The entire starting linebacking core for the Packers is also questionable to start. And 6.5, man, like I don't know the weather report. It just feels like a lot. Maybe in the snow or super cold weather, you give it to Aaron Rodgers because Brock Osweiler doesn't know how to do anything really.
Yeah.
But if it turns into a running-based game, Houston's got the better run game. I'll take Houston plus 6.5.
So bank on that, folks. Our last game, San Diego Chargers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay coming off two pretty impressive wins against the Kansas City Chiefs and the Seattle Seahawks. But San Diego is that pesky team. They combined are getting 47.5. Do you pick the over or the under?
I will pick the over on this one. I really like this game to be a little bit of a shootout. Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston, Mike Evans, they can score points. It's been proven week in and week out against basically everybody that's not, top tier teams. They're scoring in the 20s, and San Diego is officially the team you do not want to face anymore. They are about, 4 to 5 points from being 7-4 and being just at the top two. So they're a much better team. They can still light it up. Phillip Rivers has a lot to do with it. Over 47.5.
All right, so those are Mike's 3 picks in the NFL. So now, excuse me, folks, this is quite unprofessional, but our friend and colleague Chelsea Williams is in a bit of a pickle.
Chelsea?
Yeah, she can't afford the rent. I need picks on the championship games of college football to make rent. Pac-12, ACC, Big Ten. So we got to help Chelsea out right now. So luckily and quite serendipitously, we happen to have the lines right here. Washington and Colorado are getting 56 points combined. Do you pick the over or the under?
Over. I think Colorado could probably score 56 by themselves. So that one's pretty much a no-brainer. It doesn't matter who wins as long as they score a lot of points.
Yeah, Chelsea, bet the over. And next, ACC, Clemson, number 3 seed, is getting 10 points against Virginia Tech. Mike, do you think Virginia Tech can keep it close enough for them to win?
Virginia Tech, they're an all right team. If you had told me to bet the over-under of 59, I wouldn't really know what to do. But I like Clemson even though they're a minus 10.
All right, last game for Chelsea. And college football is the Big Ten championship game. Number 6, Wisconsin. Number 7, Penn State. The over-under is 47. Or actually, we're going to go not the over-under. We're going point spread. Wisconsin getting 3 points. Gonna be pretty much a pick'em game. What do you think, Mike?
I actually really like Penn State in this one. Wisconsin has they haven't really proved anything to me this year. Penn State, maybe it's just off of name power, but I think that they need this game. I mean, obviously they're 6 and 7 in the country. They both need this game, but I think the winner of this game probably gets that 4 spot and gets that last spot into the Final Four, if you will. So I like Penn State to come out hungry in this one.
All right, Chelsea. So number 7, Penn State. Number 3, Clemson on the spread. And the over-under for the Pac-12. Pick the over. All right, we're going to finish out with a couple of odd prop bets.
Yeah.
Zeke Elliott, staying in football. 199.5 yards. So basically over. Do you think he's going to break that 2,000-yard threshold or under?
Okay, you said 199.5?
Sorry, 1,999.5 yards.
I'll take the under on that one. I think I think he's on pace to have like 1,700 or something like that. It would take an ungodly effort in order to break 2,000. He'll probably end up with close to 1,850. If you'd put 1,849.5, I'd probably take the over. But I don't see him getting to 2,000.
Yeah, and speaking of dominant players, let's shift over to the NBA. Somebody who's taking the statistical world by storm, Russell Westbrook and his triple-double streak. Before the season, I found a prop bet of 20.5 triple-doubles on the season. He's going to obliterate that by the All-Star break. So I'm going to adjust that, and looking at the triple-doubles in history, the most ever in a season was 41 by Oscar Robertson. Number 2 is 31 by Wilt Chamberlain. So I'm setting the line at 31.5, Mike. Do you think Russell Westbrook can get over 31.5
I think
triple-doubles?
Russell Wilson could get over 31 triple-doubles. No.
No, 5'10". Isaiah Thomas.
Sure, that's fine. I'm going to take the over on this one. I think he ends up probably like 38, 39. Just his usage rate is out of control. I saw a statistic that said Russell Westbrook has 70 more touches per game than the second place person on his team. To put that in comparison, DeMar DeRozan, who is having a stellar year, gets 70 touches a game.
Wow.
So just to put that in comparison, that's the only way this works is if Russell Westbrook is getting a triple-double. He's averaging a triple-double officially, so technically he's supposed to get 82 of them. So I don't think he'll get 41, but he will definitely obliterate 31.5.
All right. So now instead of the young, vibrant Russell Westbrook, somebody he kind of reminds you of athletically, Dwayne Wade. One of the interesting prop bets I found was over/under games played at 67.5. Do you think Wade has enough in him to get over that mark?
I think that just based off of maintenance and scheduling, he won't play 68 games. If you want to talk about sitting him on every second game of a back-to-back. I don't know how many back-to-backs the Chicago Bulls have, but most teams have at least 12. So that's 12 right there. A couple more games right before the All-Star break. If they're out of it late or into it really late, they rest him at the end. If it's a squash opponent, they rest him. I don't see any way he gets to 68.
And now let's think about another one of his former teammates, Hassan Whiteside. Historically, one of the worst passing big men in history. 48.3 field goal attempts per assist. He has 721 field goal attempts in his career, 15 assists. So, Mike, the next game Hassan Whiteside plays, I am setting the line at 0.5 assists in that game. Do you go over or under?
I'm going to go under. I mean, he's only been in the league like 2 years, and so 7.5 a year over the course of 82 games. That puts the average at less than half an assists per game. So I'll just take the under on 0.5.
All right.
If you put it at like 0.1, maybe I take the over. Oh. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, so our last prop bet, speaking of being passed around, the Kardashians. Khloe is dating Tristan Thompson from the Cleveland Cavaliers. And yes, folks, there is a prop bet about their relationship. The line is, yes, Tristan Thompson will still be dating Khloe Kardashian by the end of the season. That is getting minus 275, and the no is getting plus 180. Mike, do you think Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian's love, is that for real?
Slight underdog for the fact that they will break up. I'm gonna take no on this one. I like the plus 180. Just because there's so much going on. Maybe Kanye says something about the F LeBron, or Donald Trump loves Cleveland. I don't know. He'll say something stupid and they'll get in a fight over it and something will happen. But I think that Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian will break up before the end of the NBA season.
There you have it, folks. Kardashian analysis you can only find right here on the Not Mike and Mike show. When we come back, we're going to have a segment all about what we were thankful for, so don't go anywhere.
Y'all, you love.
Hey guys, I'm Tiana Wilson here on the Solano College Sports Network with an exciting update about our brand new show, Sound Off, a sports talk show focusing on local sports in the Bay Area, featuring schools like Fairfield's very own Armio, Rodriguez, Fairfield High, and of course, Solano Community College. The show will be hosted by Soad Balazi, featuring Dylan Collins and Josh Kinder. I'm Tiana Wilson, and thank you for watching the Solano College Sports Network, your number one source for local sports.
Welcome back, folks, to the Not Mike and Mike show. Mike, we're coming off that Thanksgiving break, and
still feeling it.
had a lot of time to think about what we're thankful for in the sports world. So I'd like to share our thoughts with you about what we are specifically thankful for. So, Mike, would you like to start us off, or would you like me to start?
I'll start off.
Okay.
I am thankful for Colin Kaepernick for finally giving me a viable fantasy football quarterback. I've been running with Blake Bortles all year. You took my other two quarterbacks in our league. So thank you, Colin Kaepernick, for finally giving me 38 fantasy points.
All right. That's a good place to start. I like to be thankful for Jeff Fisher, who has the audacity and the lack of self-awareness to ban Eric Dickerson from his sidelines, saying, as long as I am the coach of the LA Rams, you are not going to stand on my sidelines. That's the kind of audacity I'm thankful for, because it shows a complete lack of self-awareness. Jeff Fisher, you're not going to be the coach for very much longer. And Eric Dickerson is a Hall of Famer, probably the most famous LA Ram
But
ever.
for the next 5 weeks, he will not be allowed on that side.
No, and I am thankful for that audacity.
All right, my next one is a little two for one, a little twofer. I am thankful for Trent Baalke, and I am thankful for Reggie McKenzie. I am thankful for Trent Baalke for drafting ACL tears over and over and over again. And I'm thankful to Reggie McKenzie for not drafting ACL tears over and over and over again. And we see the difference in the two teams now. One's 9-2, one's 1-10. A lot to be thankful for these days.
Yes. Along those lines, Sam Hinkie, thankful for you as well.
Yeah.
To be absolutely terrible at your job and just tank every single year in hopes of getting a high draft pick. And with that draft pick, you pick somebody with bad knees or bad feet. But hey, Joel Embiid looks pretty good at 20 minutes a game. Too bad you lost your job. Thank you, Sam Hinkie. Thank you.
I'm thankful for Mark Cuban for disallowing beat writers from his press conferences by saying that there is a lack of beat writers covering the game. Thank you, Mark Cuban, for allowing us some insight into that backwards head of yours.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. James Andrews. This one's kind of serious. Think about James Andrews. Where would players' careers be without him?
Same vein, Tommy John.
Yeah, knee injuries. He's really done a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dr. James.
Thank you to you for allowing me to goof off for 45 minutes a week and have a lot of fun doing it.
And thank you to Mike Greenberg and Mike Golick for not finding out about this show at all and suing us as we are broke college students. So thank you, Mike and Mike. We are not Mike and Mike, and that is what we are thankful for. And we'd like to thank you for always supporting us and being our viewers, all 12 of you. Hopefully by next year we can get that baker's dozen. And check us out next time on the Not Mike and Mike show. We'll see you then.
I was hoping there would be one more money.
One more money. Yeah, short segment.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought on all the ones I wanted. You didn't even cover Gus Bradley.
No. All right. And welcome, folks, to the Not Mike and Mike show. That's the start of the show. What the hell? That is the start of the show intro. All right. Welcome back, folks, to the Not Mike.
Ow.
Yeah. Ow.
It's probably better off on the ground.
All right.